Wait. Are you worried about Leetcode daily challenge batches? Your profile does not have such batches? Don't worry. Runtime Error brings a solution for every day's Leetcode daily challenge problem solution. So do subscribe to Runtime Error so that your profile can have such batches. So Leetcode problem of the day solution, and here it is. Today we are solving the majority element 2 question from Leetcode. And most interestingly, we are going to solve this question in 3 different steps. So I highly recommend you to watch till the end so that you can come to know the interesting 3 steps. So let's get started. Majority elements 2. What does this question says that we have given an array of size n and we need to find how many number of elements are there in array whose occurrence are more than n by 3 times. We need to find the elements that occurs more than n by 3 times. Most interestingly, we need to find the floor of n by 3, right? What does the floor mean? Say for example, I 1.2.3 something like this. What will be its floor value? Its floor value will be 1. If I have 0.896898, what will be its floor value? Its floor value will be 0. So we need to find the occurrence of element that occurs more than n by 3 times. For example, here my size of array is 3. So if I do 3 divided by 3, it would be 1, right? So I need to find an element that occurs more than 1. So here we can see that 3 and 3 that occurs 2 times, which is greater than 1. So my answer is 3. Similarly, here my size of array is 1. If I do n 1 by 3, my answer would be 0, right? It would be 0.8 point something, but I need a floor value, so I took a 0. So I need to find the element that occurs more than 0 times. So it would be 1 because it occurring 1 times, which is greater than 0. So my answer is 1. Similarly, here my n is equals to 2. If I do 2 divided by 3, it would be 0 point something again. So I need to find the elements that occurs more than 0 times. It would be 1 and 2, both the elements. So I hope so you understood the meaning of the question. Now let's jump to our first step of our solution. So let's look at our first step of our solution, that is number of elements whose occurrence is greater than n by 3 times. So let's check out and make some analysis that how many elements will be there whose for sure occurrence will be greater than n by 3 times. So from this example we can come to know that simply my size of an array is 9 and we need to find the elements that occurs greater than n by 3 times. So if I do 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Right, so I need to find the elements that occur more than 3 times. So let's assume the minimum value which is greater than 3. So can I say 4, 5, 6 and on, all the elements are greater than 3, but which is the minimum from this? 4. So can I say 4 is the minimum value which is greater than 3? Yes. So I need the elements whose occurrence is at least 4 times. So how can I divide 9? Can I say 4 plus 4 plus 1? Right, so can I say there will be total 2 elements whose occurrence will be greater than n by 3 times. 2 elements, right, whose occurrence will be greater than n by 3 times, because I need at least 4 elements. So I got 4, okay, I got 1 element, then again I got second element. Now this is 1 which is less than n by 3 times, so this will be our no use. So can I say in total there will be exactly 2 elements whose occurrence is greater than n by 3 times, So I hope so you understood the step 1, that is how many elements whose occurrence is greater than n by 3 times. For sure, whatever will be size of my n, my total elements will be 2 whose occurrence is greater than n by 3 times. So now let's jump to my second step of our solution. Now let's have a look at our second step of our solution. Now the question comes, how we will come to know that how many elements occurred greater than n by 3 times. So can I simply say that I will simply keep the count of occurrence of every single element, right? For example, in this array I have 3, I have 2 and I have 6. Now what I will do is I will check how many times the 3 has occurred, how many times 2 has occurred and how many times 6 has occurred. So I got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So my 3 has occurred 4 times. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. My 2 has also occurred 4 times and I got 6 which has occurred exactly 1 time. So this I got the occurrence of every single element. Now again I will check how many elements are there whose occurrence is for sure greater than n by 3 times. So I got 3, I got 2. So my output will be 3 and 2. So this is my answer because these are occurring more than n by 3 times. So which data structure can be used to store the occurrence of the element? for sure one thing that comes on our mind, that is hash, right? Because hash can be used to store the occurrence of every single element. So what I will do is, say for example, this is my hash table, so which is numbered from 1 2 3 4 5 and on and on. So initially it is initialized to 0, because what does it says that every single element still not occurred. So now what I will do is, I will traverse this array, I will check 3, so I will go at 3 and I will simply update to as 1, because what does it mean is, so 3 has occurred exactly 1 time. Then I come across 2, then I will go to 2, it was 0, but now 2 is occurred, so it would be 1. Now again I come across 3, earlier it was 1, so it would be now 2, because I have incremented this counter, so it would be 2. Then again I come across 2, earlier it was 1 occurrence, but now it comes again one more time, so it would be 2 times. So this is the hash table I got. So again what I will do is, again I will traverse this hash map to check 1 has occurred 0 times, which is not greater than n by 3 times. Then I got 2, it occurred 4 times. Is my 4 greater than n by 3 times? Yes. So my output would be 2, right? Then again I come across 3, is my 3 occurred more than n by 3 times? So it is 4 greater than n by 3 times? Yes. So my output would be 3. Then I come across 4 occurred 0 times, which is not greater than n by 3 times, 0 times not greater than n by 3 times, 1 not greater than n by 3 times. So my final output would be 2 3, or it would be 3 or 2, whatever order, because in the question they have stated that order does not matter. So I hope so you got me the solution. Now let's write a pseudocode for this. I will simply declare an hash, right? Say for example its initial size is 1000. Now what I will do is, I will simply start traversing my array from 0 to n minus 1 time, and simply what I will do is, hash of my array of I plus plus. So what does that simply mean is, at every single element you are incrementing its counter. And again what I will do is, I will simply start traversing my hash map from 0 to 1000, and I will check if my hash of nums of I is greater than n by 3 times, then simply we need to print nums of I, right? So I hope so you got me the pseudocode for this problem. Now let's jump to our third and the most final step and awaited step of our solution. So this is the final step and the most awaited step, I would say, that is the CPP and Java code. You can refer according to your own convenience. Plus is, I have declared an hash map, that is another map. Basically it is used for hashing. Similarly in Java we have declared the map itself, and what we need to return is, we need to return the vector, and here we need to return the list. So according to it I have declared this. So I traversed the whole array and I counted occurrence of every single element. The same thing did here in Java as well. Then again we start traversing our hash map, and we check the occurrence is greater than n by 3 times. If it is, we simply inserted that number in my hash, in my answer, that is vector, and I simply returned it. I hope so you understood this solution. If you talk about the time complexity, for sure time complexity will be big of n, and space complexity will also be big of n times. So if you want to know more about LeetCode solution, I highly recommend you to do subscribe the runtime error.